In 1957, the American auto industry was shaken, not by Ford, not by Chevrolet, but by a name many had seen as safe and predictable: Plymouth. The company unleashed a car with bold styling, futuristic performance, and a proud slogan. Suddenly, it's 1960, and they weren't wrong. The Plymouth Fury looked like nothing the world had seen before. While competitors clung to traditional shapes, Fury arrived like a spaceship from the future. Twin headlights, towering tail fins, a modern interior, and a fire-breathing V8 engine. It didn't just mesmerize buyers, it forced GM and Ford to scramble and catch up. But glory doesn't last forever. Fury rose to the top, only to become part of a turning point in Plymouth's fate. So what happened? And why has this car become one of the most valuable collector icons today? From 1931 to 1960, Plymouth consistently held the number 3 spot in US car sales, trailing only behind Chevrolet and Ford. It wasn't flashy like Cadillac or brute like Dodge, but it won over America's middle class with durability, affordability, and just enough style. Plymouth was the smart choice for families wanting a dependable American car without overspending. But by the mid-1950s, the market was shifting. Consumers were demanding more than reliability. They wanted style, performance, and modernity. To maintain its position, Plymouth needed a breakthrough. That breakthrough came in the form of the Plymouth Fury. First introduced as a special edition Belvedere Fury in 1956, it planted the seeds for a revolution. But it wasn't until 1957 that the Fury truly exploded, becoming the ace up Plymouth's sleeve to shed its conservative image. Incredibly, in 1957, when Chrysler's full-size lineup, Dodge DeSoto Imperial, was being praised, it was Plymouth, the budget brand, that stole the spotlight. The Fury wasn't just beautiful. It was visionary, bold, and had the presence of a car from the future. When Plymouth introduced the Fury in 1957, the American car industry witnessed a complete shake-up in design. More than just a good-looking car, the Fury embodied a pioneering design philosophy, merging aerodynamics, space-age flair, and a touch of middle-class luxury. But what truly made the Fury special wasn't just its overall look. It was how the design evolved year by year, with each model reinventing itself while retaining the soul of the original. In 1957, Fury debuted as a special version of the Belvedere. From the very first glance, it demanded attention. Twin headlights, mounted high and framed by sharp chrome eyebrows, a menacing front that looked ready to pounce. The rear featured soaring, vertical tail fins, bold symbols of the jet age. The body adopted a low, wide, long stance, hugging the pavement with aerodynamic precision. And perhaps most strikingly, it came in only one color, light beige with gold trim, paired with a 2-door hardtop configuration. The 1957 Fury was not just a car, it was a rolling design manifesto. In 1958, the Fury retained its overall form, but gained several visual enhancements. The chrome trim became thicker and more pronounced, the grille more intricate with narrower horizontal slats, and the taillights grew wider with subtle V-shaped creases. Once again, it offered just one color choice, a deeper beige with gold trim, adding visual richness and sophistication. Still limited to 2-door hardtop and convertible versions, the 1958 Fury was a natural evolution. Less shock, more refinement. It matured without losing its edge. Then came 1959, and with it, a fundamental shift. Fury was no longer a Belvedere submodel. It was now its own standalone line with a full range of body styles: 4-door sedans, two-door and four-door hardtops, and convertibles. The color palette expanded dramatically, but with this mass appeal came a risk. The exclusivity that defined the Fury began to erode. It became more accessible, but also easier to overlook. Plymouth, however, wasn't blind to this. They responded with the Sport Fury, a masterstroke to preserve the car's original identity. Only available in two-door hardtop and convertible form, Sport Fury stood out with unique design cues: a bold M-shaped ridge above the headlights, exclusive badging, sweeping chrome along the sides, and a raised rear trunk with a faux Continental spare bulge, evoking Chrysler's top-tier luxury. The tail fins remained, but now longer and slimmer, giving the rear a sense of grace rather than flamboyance. If the exterior of the Plymouth Fury stunned onlookers with bold styling, what lay under the hood was just as impressive. Between 1957 and 1959, the Fury carried a lineup of muscular V8 engines, not only powerful by the standards of the time, but key in proving that the Fury wasn't just a looker, it was a legitimate performer. In 1957, the Fury came equipped with the A-Series 318 cubic inch V8, featuring dual 4-barrel carburetors. This engine produced 290 gross horsepower, a remarkable figure for a mid-size sport coupe in the late 50s. It wasn't just about raw numbers. The engine's semi-hemispherical combustion chambers and aggressive cam timing gave it responsive, athletic character. Motor Trend tested the 1957 Fury and recorded a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 8.7 seconds, faster than most of its competition. In 1958, the 318 dual quad remained standard, but Plymouth introduced higher-end options. Most notably, the B-Series 350 cubic inch V8 with dual 4-barrels cranked out 305 gross horsepower. As a true big block, it delivered torque early and eagerly, making the Fury feel brawnier than ever. A rare Bendix electronic fuel injection version of the 350 was also available, pushing 315 horsepower. But early EFI systems were notoriously unreliable, making this option both rare and finicky. For 1959, Fury's engine offerings diversified. Buyers could choose from a 230 horsepower 318 V8, a 260 horsepower 318, or a top-tier 361 cubic inch B-Series 5.8 producing 305 horsepower. This engine, paired with dual 4-barrels, became the go-to choice for the Sport Fury variant. Some models could even be ordered with a 4-speed manual, joining the well-regarded TorqueFlite 3-speed automatic, which used dash-mounted push-buttons, a futuristic touch that made gear selection both easy and stylish. But performance wasn't just about straight-line speed. The Fury was also lauded for its braking and cornering stability, rare qualities in large cars of the era. With a reinforced frame and upgraded suspension, the Fury delivered a surprisingly sporty driving experience without sacrificing comfort. And that nimble, well-balanced feel became even more impactful once you stepped inside the cabin, where Plymouth continued to express its forward-thinking spirit, not just through performance, but in the interior design and driver-focused technology. When you step inside the cabin, it offers something truly special, a sense that you're entering a miniature concept car. Plymouth didn't miss the chance to turn the Fury's interior into a space that expressed prestige, technology, and meticulous craftsmanship. As early as 1957, the Fury featured a clean, symmetrical dashboard, aircraft-style round gauges, and chrome trim stretching across the width, creating a spacious and modern visual impression. The seats were upholstered in high-quality cloth or premium vinyl, with patterns unique to each model year. Details like door handles, levers, and radio knobs were finished in polished metal, delivering a solid, upscale feel, not at all cheap like many cars in its class. A standout highlight came in the 1959 Sport Fury, where the interior became a full expression of personality, from the two-tone steering wheel, unique center dash badging, to sporty seats with bold contrast color schemes. It was all designed to showcase the spirit of a car made for people who wanted to make a statement. Perhaps the most memorable feature was the swivel front seats, offered as an option on the 1959 Fury. With a gentle twist, the driver and passenger seats could rotate outward, making entry and exit far easier, a feature rarely seen even in luxury cars of that era. It wasn't just about convenience. It was a declaration. Plymouth wanted driving to feel like a premium experience, whether you were pulling out of a driveway or cruising down the highway. The Fury didn't just impress with speed or styling. It stood out because it made drivers feel truly valued, from the moment they sat down to the quiet click of the door closing behind them. While the Plymouth Fury was praised for its bold styling, strong performance, and well-appointed interior, it also carried with it some significant flaws, especially in terms of build quality and long-term durability. These were the very issues that left many owners disappointed back then, and explain why it's so rare today to find a well-preserved, all-original Fury. The biggest concern lay in the paintwork and body steel. With Chrysler rushing to market under the Suddenly It's 1960 campaign, many vehicles were pushed through production too quickly, leading to inconsistent paint application and thin protective coatings. As a result, early rusting became a widespread issue, often occurring just a few years after purchase, especially in humid or snowy climates. Additionally, some of the electrical components and fuel systems, particularly on the 1958 EFI-equipped models, were prone to failure. While electronic fuel injection was a major technical leap forward, it wasn't mature enough at the time, requiring frequent adjustments or being replaced entirely by traditional carburetors. Even though the Fury's suspension and chassis offered an excellent ride, its relatively heavy weight, combined with poor rust protection, meant that long-term maintenance became a serious challenge. To be fair, the Fury was a car ahead of its time, but that also meant it paid the price for being on the cutting edge. Beauty comes from boldness, but being ahead of your time sometimes means confronting limitations that the era itself couldn't quite overcome. And yet, it's precisely those strengths and flaws that make the Fury all the more fascinating to classic car lovers today. Beauty comes from boldness, but being ahead of your time sometimes means confronting limitations that the era itself couldn't quite overcome. And yet it's precisely those strengths and flaws that make the Fury all the more fascinating to classic car lovers today. Because more than 60 years later, after every panel has been scrutinized and every detail judged by time, the Plymouth Fury still stands tall as an irreplaceable cultural icon. Not just for what it accomplished, but for how it embodied a time when the auto industry dared to dream bigger and push beyond the possible. The Fury remains a vivid symbol of the space-age era, when cars weren't just transportation, but rolling mechanical art. With towering tail fins, robot-like headlamps, and cockpit-inspired dashboards, it spoke a bold design language that few other cars could match. Even today, there's something romantic and adventurous about the Fury that no modern car can quite replicate. Among collectors, Original or accurately restored Fury models from 1957 to 1959 are highly prized, especially the Sport Fury, which is incredibly rare and growing ever more valuable. Examples that retain original bodywork, authentic interiors, or period-correct restorations can command hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. But even more than monetary value, they represent ownership of a truly singular moment in American automotive history. The Fury also left its mark on pop culture, most famously in Stephen King's Christine, where a 1958 Fury was portrayed as a living, breathing entity. Its glowing headlights and snarling grille creeping through the fog still send chills, not from fear, but from sheer visual power. Today, the Fury is far more than a vintage car. It is a monument to unrestrained creativity, a reminder of the golden age of American cars, when steel, glass, and a V8 engine were enough to build dreams on four wheels. And it's that mark, bold, emotional, unforgettable, that made the Plymouth Fury more than just a machine. It stands as proof of a golden age, when boundaries were meant to be broken by bold ideas and passionate hearts. Today, every surviving Fury isn't just a mechanical relic. It's a living reminder of a time when design, performance, and imagination came first. In a world of increasingly similar cars, the Fury still shines as a symbol of individuality, daring, and one-of-a-kind style. If you've ever seen, ridden in, or dreamed of driving a Fury, share your story below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to join us on the next journey through the forgotten legends of American automotive history.